So, I mean, as you already know, I've been playing, or I was playing a just kind of an uncomfortable to talk about amount of the more I talk about it, just the more I think about all the time I spent on it. Jeez Louise, Metaphor Fantasio. I abused myself this weekend by playing that game, and I had a blast. I can't even lie. I had a blast. But when I look back and think about all the time I spent this weekend, I'm a little disgusted in myself because I mean, like that was ridiculous. But that game was great. That game was absolutely great. I gave it a 95 out of 100, 9.5 out of 10, however you want to take it. Um, I thought it was great. The story was extremely deep. You could make a lot of different choices, but like none really to take you off of the path that you're kind of on, really. Like it's not really a game where you choose kind of a path like that. Like you kind of have the same path that you're going for regardless, but like you can choose like how well you relate with certain people, and that will get it's just a classic Atlas game. Like if you've played those games, if you haven't played those games, the one thing I tell you is just be very be very specific on relationships when it comes to that game, because it's going to have you because the better the relationship you have with people, um the better your skills are gonna be and stuff like that. So it kind of leans into that quite a bit. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of that. I've been playing for the first time. I got into Call of Duty Zombies, and we've just got done playing a little bit of that actually, and that is a lot of fun. It's kind of tough at first, if I'm being honest. Like I'm gonna give you my opinion from somebody that's a complete novice that doesn't know what they're doing. They're just running around killing zombies and trying to stay alive and understanding the buttons because it's Call of Duty, but I don't understand exactly zombies. I've never been a zombie guy, right? So with that being said, and playing it, um, one thing I really don't like is putting armor onto my guy. Like, I feel like the armor should just recharge. Like, my armor recharges in regular multiplayer. The only thing that doesn't happen in, I believe, is like something like Warzone, right? But but I don't know. I feel like it makes more sense in Warzone because you're going versus actual other real players, and they have to do it too, compared to like going versus zombies. And I just like, it's not that it's hard. Like all you have to do is hold the Y button. It's not a big deal, right? But like, there's so many times that you don't realize your armor's gone, and you won't even like hit the Y button, or better yet, even worse, you can't find any armor at all. And so it's like armor is just an annoyance in the game if it's anything. It's not very helpful. And if it is helpful, you need a crap ton of it for it to be worth a damn. So I don't know. It just seems like either give me more armor and have it get like a little bit more wild, I guess, or just recharge it on its own. Like, to me, it's just kind of silly. But like, outside of that, man, like zombies, like I said, it's the first time I'm really getting into it. I really like it. And I've been playing mostly in third person because I feel like I always play first person in the regular multiplayer. So now I'm playing in third person a lot, and I don't know why. And I've actually heard a few other people say this have the same sentiment, which I thought was weird because I never really got into like the actual online version of this game. But I was telling like Bill that the other day. I was like, dude, like this reminds me of action. Like this is like what I'd imagine factions kind of being, except PvP, obviously, right? It'd probably be more PvP, obviously, right? But like I was just thinking about like what it'd look like to run around with zombies with friends, and I was just thinking, this looks very like even your character kind of looks Joel esque a little bit when you first start. Like he got the regular shirt, pretty much like a just an assortment of tools and a backpack with him. Like he looks like a Joel running around killing zombies. Um, and the presentation of the game looks really nice. Like everything looks pretty dang good. I mean, it's Activision. They should for a game like Call of Duty. It should be at that par. Um, but I like it a lot. The upgrading I like, even though it's kind of hard for me to understand. Like, obviously, you'll figure it out if you play it enough. But right now, like, I don't know really what I'm looking for, or kind of like I understand the objective because it tells you what to do, right? So I get that, but like, it's just like, all right, where's the pack a punch? Where's all this stuff? Like, I don't know where anything really is, and I'm not sure if I should know. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like I'm just kind of like, and I felt the same way watching you play as well. We're just kind of running around with our heads cut off, and it's as much as it's cool, it's frustrating too because I don't know really about all of the different things to take advantage of. I don't know what stacks what well. Like I'm not privy to it. So it's harder. A different part of Call of Duty that I've been playing lately, and I don't know, I'm kind of going and going and going, but I'm almost done. Um, another part of Call of Duty that I've been playing lately, multiplayer. Obviously, I feel like I've already talked about that a little bit because of the beta. So I mean, it's good. I'll just say it's really good. I highly recommend you play it. Maps, hit and miss. But as for what I actually want to talk about, which was the campaign, I'm only like 2.5 missions deep into the campaign. I just started it today, actually, and the campaign was like, so far, I'm impressed. So far, I'm kind of impressed. Like, I didn't realize how much I'd enjoy the Omni movement in campaign. But with some of the missions and how they're stealth, like you can be stealth if you want to, having that Omni movement and being able to kind of slide on your butt, pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It's pretty nice. It just adds another level of being able to kind of peek around, and be versatile. It did, like all like something I haven't seen yet, and I'm not sure if there's a way to see it. But one thing that used to bother me about every Call of Duty game is seeing these two shitty words: prone block. I haven't dealt with that yet. And so far in the campaign, like I was like just kind of screwing around, diving a little everywhere because it's uh, they're obviously not as sweaty as playing online, so you can screw around a little bit more, right? And man, it was just very enjoyable. I was just doing it with the silencer, just run, and they'd hear my footsteps, and I'd just dive, and then turn around, and I'd be on my ass, and they'd come around the corner, and I just pop them right in the head, sitting on my ass. So it was like great. It was great. It happened as well. Like there was a bush that was like about waist high, and the guy heard me running because I was running towards the van that I'm supposed to get into. And I dove into the bush, and he went to come check the bushes, and I was laying down on my, I was on my back, staring on my butt, and I just another headshot. It was great, dude. You should really get. Yeah, I know you haven't got very far in the campaign. I'm telling you, you should. Yeah. Um, I mean, I'm not that surprised, really. I mean, they're just doing what they're kind of supposed to be doing, and then on top of it, they have a new way of letting people play it at a lower cost, or at least letting people try it. You know what I'm saying? And sure, they said that they'd stop giving the dollar memberships a little bit ago, right? But some of those people are still on the dollar membership. And some of those people are made new accounts early for that dollar membership. You know what I'm saying? Like people there's a lot of people out there that plan strategically, right? And I think maybe that's not like the huge portion of it because I just don't think it is. But I'm just saying like people were like moseying their way into this game however that they could. Essentially, is what I'm saying. And this was a good looking game. And it reviewed really well on the day that it released. And it's in a subscription service. I mean, come on. There's just so many things that like set this thing up to be what it is. The real testament to it is the next one that comes out. Can they eclipse or pass this one? Because everybody already knew that this like if you didn't think that this was going to be a hit, you were being very naive. It's the biggest hit anywhere, right? You could have dropped it on Nintendo for the first time. It would have did the same thing. Maybe big. So that's what I'm thinking. And see, that's another thing that I was thinking about as well. Is how can they make more sales than they did this time? Oh, well, they just put it on Nintendo. right? So the next Call of Duty is probably gonna go to Nintendo or something like that. I'd be surprised if it didn't, seeing that Nintendo Switch is supposed to be, like, being announced next year, right? Yeah, I mean, that's what the rumors seem like from Nintendo themselves. Exactly, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was there for the holiday season, and then the next Call of Duty that comes out, 'cause I don't know. I think they might take a year off next year. What? Yeah, like, Microsoft might take a year off for Call of Duty. Really? Right. Hold up a second, I'm kinda curious about something. You know what would be crazy? If they did a continuation of Black Ops, I wouldn't be if they did a continuation of Black Ops 2, right? Is that what you're trying to say is the rumor? And see, I don't know if I don't know how it'd be Treyarch Treyarch. That sounds wild. But, you're right, you're right, you're right. So that's interesting. But I guess what I'm kinda getting at is the last time Nintendo had a Call of Duty was Black Ops 2, is on the Wii U. So if they did a continuation on it, I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo gets the continuation of Black Ops 2. I'm just throwing things at the wall. I'm having fun. Black Ops 6 is the best Call of Duty? Oh, yeah, without a shadow of doubt. Absolutely. I mean, it's just good all around. There's no, like, weak spot in it, really. Like, Modern Warfare 2 Modern Warfare 2 was really good. I don't think the campaign was as captivating, though, and I liked it too, but, like, the way that this one's kinda kicking off and like I said, the kind of freedom of movement that I have now makes me more happy with where I am in this one. And then on top of it, like, then there's zombies as well, which I never really got into in the previous Call of Duties, right? And then what was in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 that was like secondary? That wasn't multiplayer campaign. It wasn't DMZ, was it? I heard that was really good, but didn't they cancel that? I don't know. No. Um, I mean, honestly, I don't care. We can talk about whichever thing that you want. Okay. To be honest, I don't have like any history with Dragon Age, right? Like at all. It just looks like a really cool game, and I want to play it. That's kind of as crazy as that gets. Like, I know a lot of people are in their feelings and they kind of got their whole like what they think should be in the gaming space and what they think shouldn't be and whatnot. But like to me, I just instead of screaming it repeatedly, I say I might say it once or twice, or I might say it on a podcast, not in the most malicious way, but more my biggest piece of showing anything is just whether I buy it or not, right? So like if I'm sitting here telling you God of War Ragnarok is trash. God of War Ragnarok is trash. Spider-Man, 2 is trash. I mean, I still kind of supported it, but I think at the same time I'm a little bit more valid with saying certain things, but like I should be then more but then I should be more specific, right? If I'm on the outside looking in, I can just say I don't want to support that and just kind of keep it. And I just think a lot of people have a problem with just doing that. Just just hey man, if you don't like it, then keep it moving. But if you think you would like it, then get it. And if a couple problems occur while you're playing it, state them, but still keep it moving. I feel like so many people never keep it moving. They just an easy one to choose is Grums. Never. Just he'll he'll keep a bad thing going just for the sake of keeping a bad thing going. Like sometimes I don't feel like people are trying to solve anything. They're just trying to display narrative, have a good time at somebody else's expense, and I think that's kind of lame. You don't have to I've never been a big fan of Mr. Matty Plays. I don't really like the way he reviews or anything. I respect him as a person though, and like I'm not gonna sit here and try to mudsling on this guy. Like even though I'm not a big fan of him and whatnot, which I publicly said that I don't have a problem with publicly saying whether I like somebody or whether I like their content or not. I don't have a problem with coming out and saying that, right? Because no one's had a problem saying it about me, so I don't care. So I'm gonna say what I want to say, and but my whole thing is at the end of the day, I want to be a you know I I want to be real with myself, and but at the same time, I'm not trying to be purposefully disrespectful unless that motherfucker is purposely disrespectful. Like that's the only time I go out of my way to be disrespectful at all. Is if somebody else wants to be a piece of shit shot, fine. I'll give you the same energy that you like to give out. I have no problem doing that, but like I've never seen Mr. Matty Plays in particular, um, be malicious to anybody. So like I don't have to love his content, but like I still cr- I still don't mind hearing his opinion. Like just, I don't I'm still subscribed to his channel. Still check out what he has to say. I just don't like it. It's just like, like I don't like CNN, but I tune in every once in a while to see what the fuck they got to say. I mean, that's the way I look at it. That's the way you're supposed to intake news. You're not supposed to love everything that you hear from everybody, or it's just not news. So, like, I listen to some of the people that I don't like. I mean, I'm cool with it. For me, at the end of the day, it's more or less, do I respect you as a person? If I respect you as a person, I'll listen to what you have to say. If I don't respect you as a person, I ain't trying to listen. Right? So I respect Maddie as a person. I'll listen to what he has to say. I usually just don't like it. You shouldn't be devastated. That'd be nuts. We
Hello?
were.
No, you weren't. I was.
Oh
Oh
no.
my god damn.
You were muted the whole time.
Oh my god damn.
Well, it's good. I was the one talking most of the time. I was talking a lot. So
Yeah, my
there's
god,
that.
dude. Shout out to
But
you,
yeah.
Mike Johnson. Shout out to you. Dude, I would have never known. Cause I went to check on the show and I heard you talking and I didn't even think to wait to check to hear myself talking. So I just
Oh,
assumed we're all good.
yeah.
That's that was just bad, man. All right. Well, whatever. Besides the point, I agree with what Ham was saying. Mr. Matty plays like I feel like he's kind of like his reviews are like it's either the best thing ever or it's terrible, and there's not much in between. Like I haven't seen many reviews of him saying this game was fine or this game was decent or anything like that. It's just it's one extreme or the other, and that's kind of my only problem I have with him. Outside of that, exactly what you said. Totally respect him. I'm fucking subscribed to his channel. So every now and then I'm tuning in to listen to what he has to say. I'm listening to the podcast with him and Lord Cognito. Like I love that stuff. So no problem with him whatsoever. But it's just a whole weird situation with Mr. Matty Plays in this game right now. But he did, like I said, he did put out a statement, so that is positive. And then obviously there's the whole discourse about like I don't even know how much I want to get into it here on the channel, but there's the whole discourse about woke versus anti woke with this game, and I've got opinions on that are just you know not like I could go for a while on that, and I don't really want to dive too heavily into that. But yeah, we're both excited for the game. Looks like the reviews are good. We're gonna find out tomorrow because I know once the game actually comes out, more reviews are gonna pour in and everything. and then eventually, we'll have a score that it's settled on or whatever. And I know today on your show, Am, I know you had to back out and for a doctor's appointment, but I know on your show we talked about Dragon Age and how like what do we think the final score of the game's going to be after more reviews pour in. I kind of said more or less it'll be like 1 or 2 points up or down either way. Um, I think Oshus came in and he was pretty adamant that it was gonna tank. So, so like, I wanted to ask you though, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you think the score evens out to be for this game? Give it, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, after release, when more people review.
I think Oshus is kind of on this.
You think he's on to something? You think he's spitting facts?
Well, the thing is just people that are negative are extremely loud.
Mm-hmm.
They
That's
are
true.
very, very loud, and they will do things that are illegal to make sure they know how, just so they could let you know how loud they are.
Yeah,
So like, I mean, I'm not like agreeing with him in like hell yeah, Ashes, because I know he's more on the side of like fuck this game.
sure.
I'm just more or less like I just pretty much think that if people can find something and they could flip it upside down and shake it, they will. And I feel like this game will easily do that just because they do touch on some things that, maybe I wouldn't even care for particularly. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't like the thing is the difference between me and those people is I know it's a video game. This isn't changing my life.
Yeah,
this isn't keeping me from putting groceries on the table. This isn't manipulating my daughter.
yeah,
This is me playing this game right now. And if I don't want to play it, I won't. If I play an hour, 10 minutes, 20 hours of it, and I decide, yo, this is foul, it is what it is.
yeah,
But I mean, I'm I tell you what I'm not gonna do. Create a bunch of accounts, go on to all these different sites, find and talk to developers and insult them.
yeah,
Do any of that. I'm just not gonna give them any more of my money.
yeah,
It's like, oh, the next Dragon Age comes out. I think I'll pass. I think that's what will happen.
yeah.
Because
Normal
because what does
response.
every restaurant want? What is every restaurant isn't excited to get you know you for the first time. I mean, sure they may sound like, "Oh man, we're happy to see you the first time," but they want to see you the next time,
Yeah, they
right?
want that
Like,
money.
I mean, one purchase is cool, but reoccurring purchases are better. That's why some of these companies are like, "Don't buy our stuff, rent it." Because then you're
Yeah,
gonna have to give us money repeatedly, all the time. I mean, a lot of us are signed up for Netflix and Spotify. The same people that can complain, "Oh, we
yeah,
shouldn't have this." You are already taking part in it, brother.
yeah, man.
90% of the people that have application based electronics, you are you are part of the problem too.
Yeah,
So I mean, it doesn't bother me, but yeah.
I mean, you're kind of spitting. Yeah, that's like my thought process. Is like if you don't like it, you don't play it. I mean, for me personally, if I don't like something, I don't play it. I don't really allocate time and energy unless it's something that like I dearly like. For Halo, like if Halo did something, I know we could talk about Halo Infinite and how they launched and everything, but like if Halo made like a creative decision within the franchise, kind of like with Halo 5, that I really didn't like, I'll make it known that I don't like that. I'm not going to go out of my way to insult developers, but I'll make it known that I don't like that. But outside of that, like most games, when they do something I don't like, even if it's a game that I bought, because that's happened too, usually I don't even bother saying anything. Unless it's like on a show or whatever. But I'm not going to get on Twitter and just at these developers relentlessly and tell them, hey, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I think you're stupid or whatever. Like, I'm not going to do that. I don't have the energy for that, or really the time, I don't think, for that. But yeah, I think that's like a pretty healthy way of looking at it.
Well, think about it, bro. Like most people, like if you go to a nasty ass fucking restaurant, you go to a restaurant and you see somebody digging in their drawers and then they touch the food, right?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yo, right? You getting up and you probably walking out, right? Probably.
Yeah. Yes. No, no, probably. That's a
Yes,
yes. That's a yes.
yes. And let's say you ain't from that town, right? Most people, I'm not saying you, and I'm not saying everybody that listens or hears this show, but most people, after seeing that and walking out, would just never say nothing and just not come back.
Yes. That's a fact.
They are not. Most people are not calling the manager because, for all they know, that could have been the manager.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, they don't want to bear the humiliation of, having their name attached to something unless that's their job.
Yeah.
Like you almost don't even want anybody to know that you were there. Damn near. Unless it's like your homeboy where they suggest and you're like, I don't know. Last time that motherfucker pulled something out of his waist. And it wasn't a gun.
Hey.
It was something nasty.
Just pulling food out of his butt.
Yeah, yeah, man. So like, yeah, most people like when most people are unhappy, they may let it be known, but they'll do it in a way that you can't really trace it back to them.
Yeah. Yeah, for
And
sure.
I know that's what a lot of these people try to do with these crazy bots and disrespecting developers with anime face names and stuff like that. Like, but I just feel like there's a better way that you could do that.
Yeah.
You could just not buy it if you don't believe in it. Or if you do buy it, like I'm pretty sure a lot of these people respect honest criticism over just blatant hate. I
Yeah.
know I respond better to it.
Same here, bud. I'm not responding
When
to hate.
somebody says, "Yo, bro, you got some like you got some mustard on your shirt, right?" I mean, I could change my shirt without feeling embarrassed. But this motherfucker wait until I get in public and say, "Look at this fucking clown. He don't got no clean clothes at home." Well, now I'm
Hmm.
embarrassed.
Yeah.
like, why'd you have to say like you could have just told me, yo, you don't look right now. Go take care of this real quick in private, but you didn't. You had to be a dick.
Yeah, man. That's something I think that's a lesson that most people or so, that's like some behavior most people should pay attention to is just like there's criticism and then there's constructive criticism and then there's just being an asshole. And I feel like a lot of people, just because everyone's perpetually online, myself included, I feel like a lot of people have become too familiar and comfortable with just being an asshole, straight up.
Well,
Uh,
people like you hear it all the time, and you were talking about a comedian not that long ago, right? Where
yeah,
you're just like too many people use this stupid excuse of I'm keeping it real, and it's like no, you're not. You're being a
no,
dick.
you're just being mean for the sake of it.
You're
Yeah,
just there might be truth behind what you're saying, but conveying the truth can be done in many different ways.
100%.
And most people, when they have something bad to say or something that could be constructive, they choose to be to add a dig with it.
Yes, it's not
To not only
necessary.
where it's a problem, but now it's part of your character. It's who you are.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the kind of thing that's just like
Ooh,
it's not
I murdered
necessary.
you.
Um, did I want to say this real quick. I know it has nothing to do with this. Bronny James just missed a wide open layup about a minute ago.
You
Fantastic,
speaking of hater,
fantastic. But
there's that
continue
hater shit.
continuing to move on.
You're
Oh
just
my
gonna
god,
perpetuate it, you hater.
we gotta talk about Concord. I feel like we have to talk about Concord because I mean, how can we avoid it? Uh, if you're not aware, Firewalk Studios officially shut down by Sony earlier this week. I believe that was Tuesday. They announced that Firewalk Studios was dead. Concord, obviously, with Firewalk Studios being dead, is not going to be coming back. There was some hope. I know me personally, I was fully under the assumption, of course, they're going to bring it back. There's no way they just let that die with all the money they put into it. Well, apparently they weighed the pros and cons and they said, okay, we might just have to let this die. And it seems like that's what's happened. Firewalk Studios is dead. But Ham, how are you feeling? Are you shocked to find out that Firewalk Studios got the axe and that Concord is almost certainly 99.9% dead?
99.9. That shit's 100%. That's just dumb. That shit is fucking roasted and already being served. Or actually, that shit ain't even being served. That shit is it is expired. It is in the trash.
Took it back.
Yeah, they said, nah, man. If you keeping this, you keeping some rotten food. That's pretty much what it is. You got a disc of that shit. You got some for some reason because people like to collect things that don't matter, that don't work. But I mean, to me, it's like as good as collecting the web browser for fucking the Dreamcast right now. But I don't know. It's it's too bad for the studio's sake and the people that work there. Even though some of them people represented some pretty saying some pretty foul shit in the past.
Yes.
Um, but at the same time, I kind of see where they come from because of what we just got done talking about, right? Where there are people that are just like flat out assholes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a human, you can only take so much, right? So like I don't like what the developer said in response, but we're looking at the developer or like the head of the studio or whatever the fuck, right? We're looking at him like he's the president of the United States. Like
Yeah.
he's not.
Like
He's
he's
not the
not
president
just
of
a
the United
person.
fucking States. He's just a fucking dude that creates games. Like that, like that's what he is. He betted too hard on something that he shouldn't. And he
Mm-hmm.
stood by it like most people would when they make a product. They stand by it. He did what he did, and people took a couple steps further. He didn't like it, called him talentless and shit like that. Out of pocket, didn't like it, but I'm sure he heard way more disrespectful shit than he got hated on for saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, hundred
So
percent.
but yeah, I feel bad for them. It's awful that they only got one chance to try something and they got purchased because of what they had, right? And I mean, I kind of feel bad for them, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, did y'all not know what y'all were putting money into? Like, how, like, to me, I'm more confused with Sony in this situation than I am with, than I am with Firewalk. Firewalk just had a bad product. They did, right? They just
Yeah.
had a bad product. It didn't pan out, and it is what it is, right? Like, there's not much to really beat them up about. But like, as for Sony, it's just like y'all said this was gonna be a banger, and y'all spent a lot of money on this,
They're Star Wars.
right? So it's just like there was already like and this doesn't go across the board because Insomniac's dope as fuck. They know how to make games, even if it's
Hmm.
not even their own IP. They proved it. They know how to make games. They're good. Naughty Dog, they're slower than fucking lava. They are slow, it feels like.
Fucking tell me about it.
But but I wouldn't doubt that they couldn't that they wouldn't put out some quality shit, right? Sony Santa
Yeah.
Monica, amazing. They're good. They're good at what they do.
Yes.
They're phenomenal at God of War. They proved it 2 times, and I'm excited to hear about whatever they got going on, but we don't know as of right now. But as for new IP from Sony, I'm nervous for them. What they it feels like what we said about Xbox just the previous generation. We know what you're good at, Halo, Gears, and Forza. We know that. We get it. Those are great.
Hmm.
What else do you got? Right now, it's just like Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man game, God of War game, Horizon game.
Yeah.
And it's just like they seem almost kind of scared to go really anywhere else. Like scared to the point that like it's almost like it like I mean I understand Xbox isn't in the same place that Sony is console sales wise, right? But as a gaming company that delivers games, like there's just so many different genres and types and things that you can do in the different types of games that they have. And like one that's coming next year, Avowed,
Yeah.
which is going to be crazy different than most of the games that come out. And then if it comes out, because I'm not sure if it's going to, maybe we'll find out at the Game Awards. I don't know. But Fable's not going to be
Oh, I
anything
can't
like
wait
Avowed.
for Fable. I can't wait for. Yeah.
And like and even reviving some, like do that if you have to, Sony. Like even revive something, Resistance, Killzone, give it to another team. I don't know. Like try something. Bring like give what's that game called that Sucker Punch did? Give
Oh,
them
Infamous.
yeah, give Infamous to another team or something. Like you know what I'm saying? Like y'all need to
Yeah.
do something to like either revive something that's been off for a little while or bring something new that's just kind of because I don't feel like Sony this generation has had a defining game.
Yeah.
I don't think Sony themselves have they had a good generation? Sure. Have they sold plenty? Sure. Are they fine? Sure. But in 10, 15 years, if you ask me what was the game on the PS5 that was the game of the generation for that console. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
God of War sequel, Horizon sequel,
Yeah.
Last of Us remakes, and a sequel remake. I mean, what, Ratchet and Clank? Spider-Man was a sequel as well. Maybe Wolverine might do it. Maybe
Yeah.
whatever Santa Monica is working on could do it. But I'm here to just say, in my opinion, I don't think they quite have that game that like was like their Starfield, right?
Yeah.
Like whether it, got a 94 or whatever. I just haven't seen like that kind of hype from PlayStation for one of their games that there was for Starfield.
Yeah. Like, dude, if you ask me the same question, like right now, I think like games that have come out, the game that I most enjoyed on my PlayStation this generation that I absolutely loved was God of War Ragnarok. Um, I but like outside of that, I mean, Spider-Man 2 was cool. I enjoyed Spider-Man 2. Um, Ratchet and Clank was kind of like that was cool until it wasn't. I feel like that game went on a little bit longer than it needed to, which is like it wasn't that long in the first place. I feel like the price was a little bit weird for that, but I enjoyed the gameplay of it. Outside of that, Helldivers 2, I guess, is a cool game. Um, but if you ask me in the future what my game of the generation for Sony might be, I don't even think it would end up being a first party game. It's probably going to be Death Stranding 2. Barring some like tragedy to that game, it'll probably be Death Stranding 2. And barring some miracle that like, Naughty Dog gets it together and has some massive release at the end of the generation. If that happens, then hey, that's awesome. But I just I don't know right now. I just don't know right now. Mike Johnson says the PlayStation 5 Pro will do it. Um
We're talking
yeah.
about games though. Like you got to have games to put on it to
Yeah.
to pro to pro it up.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm not
that's
and I'm not saying that they don't have any games at all. I'm just saying like like even if like Xbox no, that's not a good example because they're coming out with a game. So let's say like the Nintendo Switch 2 was coming out, right? I mean, let's go back to to the launch of the Series X. That's kind of how the PlayStation Pro is looking right now. In my opinion, that's kind of what it looks like. It's coming out with nothing to look forward to for a little while. That that's at least and and let's take it back to um what most people were arguing about at the beginning of the generation, which was first party games. That's what this whole thing's about, right?
yeah.
So it's just like, what can you do first party for this pro that's coming out? And it's just like nothing for a little while. But I guess having it would be nice if you need it. I guess
Yeah. It's I think
I'm
the
definitely not
and
going to tell you not to get it.
yeah, oh dude, if anybody wants to get the PS5 Pro, by all means, do what makes you happy. Enjoy it. Um but I think the analogy of the Series X and S is kind of fitting because the Series X and S didn't launch with a brand new thing, and instead, what you got was we're gonna make all the things you own a little bit better. We're gonna make those better for you. Like Gears 5 got the big update. Forza Horizon 4 got the big update. Eventually, we did get the High Busters DLC, which I mean, some would even argue was better than Gears 5, and I'd be hard pressed to argue against it. But like, you got updates to games you already had. That's kind of what we're getting with the PS5 Pro right now. They're not launching with the big reason to have the PS5 Pro, and instead they're launching it with here's your library of PlayStation games. A lot of these will run or look better on your PS5 Pro, which is, fine, but it's also kind of disappointing when it's like, yo, you don't have, like, what's the big thing? Like, what's the big thing? I like, you showed us Ghost of Yote, which looks awesome. Can't wait for that. But it's like, bro, that's not till next year. It is next year, right? They did say 2025 for that, right?
For what?
Ghost of Yote.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's next year. So yeah, I definitely get the PS5 Pro to Xbox Series X and S analogy in that sense. Um, but oh my god, I'm sorry, I just got distracted with that. That just started blaring in my ear. My god. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of with Ham on this, where it's just like I'm a little bit worried about PlayStation as a first party thing, because I mean, my whole thing is I love Naughty Dog and the games they make, and that's the reason I got a PS5 was to play Naughty Dog's next big thing. And
Right.
I fully expected the next big thing. I fully expected. Okay, obviously we're getting Factions 2. That's going to be cool because I didn't get a chance to play Factions 1, so I'm excited to hop into that. That got canceled, and it's like, well, okay, what are they working on now? And is it even going to be ready on the PS5? We don't know yet. So right now, I have to say, like, the PS5 is kind of a letdown for me, just because I don't have the new Naughty Dog thing yet. Once I get that, then I'll be happy. But it's like right now, it's just kind of sitting here doing not a whole lot, which is kind of a bummer. But you know,
For me, the first 2 years of the PS5 was great.
yeah,
And then, especially being somebody that didn't have the PS4 the previous generation, right? Because I had a lot of catching up to do. So I got to beat Last of Us, right? I got to beat some of those other games that I missed and stuff like that. So it was nice being able to play it at a higher frame rate, and just like updated and stuff like that. So also God of War 2018 that was updated. Like Horizon Zero Dawn was updated. Got to play that. Um, Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding. Like I played all of those big banger games that were out for the PS4. That is, especially most of them that were up for the PS5 or updated for the PS5, right?
yeah,
And and now that I'm all caught up, I'm just kind of like, all right, got to play Ragnarok. That was dope. Played Spider-Man 2. A lot some people said, "Man, I thought it was pretty dope. I had a good time with it." Miles Morales, that was good. Ratchet's new game, that was good because I played the previous one as well to be on the same playing field or just to kind of understand what happened in the previous one. Now that I'm there, I'm like, all right, so what's next?
hmm,
And it's like maybe a sequel or maybe nothing.
yeah,
And it's just kind of like I don't know. It's just not that exciting, to be honest. Especially seeing that, and I'm very open about this. I play Xbox games first, especially on when it comes to multiplayer and stuff like that. So I'm more or less waiting for PlayStation to come out with something so I have a reason to turn on my PlayStation.
hmm,
And there just hasn't been a whole lot. And that's fine. I'm not mad that I got the PS5. I'm just like just just surprised and just waiting a little longer than I anticipated. I thought there'd be a lot more that I'd want to play specifically from there. But like what I didn't foresee is them bringing games to PC. That wasn't a thing I foresaw. That's not something I saw coming when
Yeah.
I bought my PS5, right?
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
So, like, there's also that now too that I have to, like, keep in mind. I'm not so, like, if the new game comes out for the PS5 and PC at the same time, well, then I'm probably gonna get on PC.
Yeah, same. Mike Johnson says Horizon Zero Dawn remastered looks dope. Check that out.
I don't like no.
Yeah.
I'm sure it does look amazing. I agree, and I thought Horizon Forbidden West look amazing, and that's all that they're doing is just making it look like that. Still the same game.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't argue with the visual fidelity of Horizon. Whether it's Zero Dawn or Forbidden West. Like when Zero Dawn came out, it was top tier, and when Forbidden West came out, it was top tier in terms of you can't really argue that in terms of visual fidelity. Um, but I
The
mean, I
Decibel
got
engine is insane with visual.
oh, it's incredible. Death Stranding one visually is just it's unreal. It's incredible. So like, but like for me, and kind of what Ham's saying, it's like I don't know how excited I am for Horizon. Well, I do know how excited. I'm not very excited for Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. Um,
I mean,
because
to me, that's just like me telling Mike Johnson, "Hey, man, they got Mario 64 in 4K. Go cop that." The new console's $300 right now. I'm dead serious. There's a new console that has a 4K 64 system now,
oh my god, I
or
think I
something
saw
like that,
that. Yeah,
and it's like $300.
that's insane. That's so much money for that.
You know what I'm saying? Do you want to play Mario 64 right now again? It's a
Yeah.
great game. I'm not saying Horizon Zero Dawn is a bad game either. But the one thing that Mario would have going for it in this situation is
Yeah, it's been a long time.
been a long time since Mario 64. So if they brought that back in 4K, I'd still be more interested in that than Zero Dawn.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you
I
on
can
that.
imagine I can imagine that new Horizon update, the way it's gonna look on the Pro. I bet it's gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah, probably.
I bet it, and yeah, that's another thing I don't want people to think is like that the Pro is gonna be bad for them. Like, yo, like if you have the money and you want to spend it like that, then by God, do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I have my personal reason behind not getting the Pro is I have a PC. I have a PC, so it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And
It's
and,
not.
and I'm looking long run wise because that's getting close to PC cost. That's a new GPU.
Yeah, that's a new GPU. I mean, shit, if you're frugal enough, I could get you a CPU as well. I mean, it's a pricey console.
And to be honest, so is that 2 terabyte. I ain't trying to get no Xbox for $600 at this point in the generation.
Yeah, that thing's silly to me. That thing's really silly to me. Like you're
Like,
gonna
like, like if I'm
charge.
gonna talk shit about the Pro, let me tell you about this Xbox they're trying to sell.
Yeah, I'm not buying an Xbox for $600 because it has a special like some sparkles on it. I just no,
Yeah,
no.
I mean, I'm sure it looks nice under certain lights and whatnot, but to me, it kind of looks like paint splatter a little bit.
Yeah.
Looks like somebody just kind of like pulled back on a paintbrush and just let it rip on each side, and then like took any kind of drip marks away from it, like just wiped it up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, to me, both of these devices at this time are too much. Like the Xbox Series X, that thing should be at this point 350.
I agree. I a
And
thousand percent
the
agree.
fucking PS5 Pro should be $500. And the
Yep.
PS5 should be 350.
Yep. That's a fact. I totally agree with that. I said that on Twitter, but like when that PS5 Pro was announced, because I remember thinking that was a joke, and I got people in my replies, and even on like a podcast I was on. I think I said on your guys' podcast, somebody was in the chat was saying, no, there's no way that would be $500. Like, dude, that I'm just going off my expectation based on last generation. PlayStation 4 launched at $500. No, $400 because that was the big thing.
$400.
That was the big thing. PS4 launched at 400, 100 under the Xbox,
And
and
then
the
it went
PS4
down to 250.
exactly. Then the PS4 Pro slotted in at $400. Versus this generation, it's like the PS5 launched at 500, and the PS5 Pro slots in at $700. Fucking what? Excuse me? That's just confusing to me. And like Ham said, same with the Xbox. The Xbox launched $500 a Series X, and this new one, granted, it has an extra terabyte of storage. Now it slots in at
Cooler
600.
CPU. Wait, wait,
Yeah,
wait, wait. It's more eco-friendly.
yeah, like dude, it's just dude, knock down the price of your Series X and knock down the price of that thing, and then talk to me because those like the way things are going right now. Those are just overpriced. Those are just overpriced, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see how what implications that has for next gen. Because the way it's looking, dude, if both of these companies can get away with selling a $700 console next gen, goddamn well they're gonna do it. Oh my god, they're gonna do it so fast, and I think that's gonna be really interesting to see play out. But yeah, I mean that brings us to the end of the show pretty much, unless there's some stuff that I'm missing. If we want to slam dunk on PlayStation and Xbox a little bit more before we get out of here. Uh, but yeah, before we get out of here, let's do the outros. Ham, let them know what you're up to. You got a show tomorrow with a special guest. Let them know about that over on your channel.
Yeah, I got a show with Mads Gaming tomorrow. Really dope dude. I believe he's from Germany.
What is gaming? He sounds super familiar. I've seen him on podcasts before.
I want to say that's where he's from, but I don't know in particular exactly where he's from in the world. I just know he's a dope gamer. He likes all sorts of video games. Talks a lot about Xbox on his channel and stuff like that. And and I'm probably gonna be more or less talking about Xbox on Thursdays whenever I do a show on that day. So because I wanted to have a show where I'm kind of focused on something instead of it being all over the place. And game streaming, it was all right. It was fun, but that's just not really. I'm just not that guy. I've never been like a game streamer. Um, I'm always down to get down on games. I'm down to stream with other people, and like maybe do something community wise, which would be maybe an interesting idea. But
Yeah,
but as for sitting and like playing like I couldn't imagine playing all of Metaphor on stream because I'd feel like I'd want to play that game when I'm not. I don't want to play it on a separate save.
yeah.
so so it just is what it is. But anyways, yeah, I have a show there, TSWS Gaming on Thursday tomorrow with Mads. That will be at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then Bullshit will be coming back this coming Friday.
Oh yeah. Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll link to that channel in the description below. Check that out. Content like almost every day throughout the week over on that channel and on the weekends now with your wife playing some Halo Infinite on Saturdays. So look forward to that. As for myself, I mean, obviously you can find me here every week. Videos every week, two podcasts a week. The L3R3 podcast, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then the Two Player podcast with myself and Ham Solo. This show right here, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then like Ham said, Fridays 4 p.m. Eastern over on their channel. For bull sitting, I'm there every week along with those guys, and it's a fun time. So check that out. But with that being said, we're going to get up out of here. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.